we going to dive into this?
Oh, cheeky. Yeah. So we saw a couple of divers a second ago diving off the rocks to avoid the rocky situation.
Yeah.
A rocky situation.
Yeah, and there were a couple as well, but I imagine their relationship wasn't on the rocks.
No, maybe not.
Yeah.
So we thought we would take some time to give you some dive-related phrases. Just before we get started, we'd like to give a shout out to our patron supporters who helped us hugely in getting this footage out to the world. So let's dive in straight away to this episode of Idioms in Italy. Take it away, Harry.
Well, we have to dive in at the deep end.
Ooh, yeah, okay. Give me an example, Harry.
So, when I was working at Matrix, which is this company that I worked for, the job was in sales and I had to make presentations and I wasn't really prepared for this job. But I dived in at the deep end straight away, and that I had to give a presentation to some quite important members of staff. So I dived in at the deep end.
Okay, so it means to be taken into a new situation and into the place that's going to test you the most.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it's a way of accustoming yourself to these difficult situations.
Yeah, like languages, people say you need to dive in the deep end and immerse yourself totally in the language. Vis-a-vis, come on our English immersion course.
Yeah, so even if you feel like you're not ready for something, dive in at the deep end in order to build confidence and
quickly.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, cool.
What other synonymous expressions could we say instead of to dive in at the deep end?
We could say to dive into something. You don't need to say into the deep end. Anything else?
So you could say Harry really dove in head first and gave that awful presentation.
Yeah, and you can also say it without to dive. You can say he went into that head first.
Yeah.
So another phrase associated to those would be to jump into something, wouldn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
It's just the same, right?
Yeah. You could say he jumped in head first, he jumped in at the deep end.
Yeah. If we went to a bar and we didn't like it, we could say
this place is a dive.
It's a dive.
Yeah.
And in America they have actual bars called dive bars.
Really? And that's not a bar for people who dive? It's not a diver's bar?
No. Can we think of anything else related to diving?
I think we can.
Oh!
What could you say if you were a boxer and someone paid you money to lose the fight deliberately?
Ooh.
What could you say?
To take a dive. Yeah, to take a dive for someone.
Yeah.
So in a fight, if you deliberately lose the game for your own personal gain, gain, not game, then you are taking a dive.
Or for something, for money.
Something, yeah.
For example, if Charlie was a boxer and he deliberately lost the fight, then I could say Charlie took a dive for a fiver.
For a fiver? Is that it? Is that what I'm worth?
How much would you... Remember, we used to box.
We used to box, baby.
Big time.
Yeah. Until I realised he could probably knock me out.
Yeah.
You nearly did.
Yeah, we did used to thump each other,
I got a bit dazed.
Yeah. You never took a dive though, did you?
No. And you said another one, to duck and dive, to quickly move from one position to another.
Yeah,
to
dodge.
To dodge.
Dodge.
To dodge. So Harry and I have just completed our first immersion course with 6 of our students, and after seeing how much fun we had doing it and hearing that it was a hit with our first 6 totally immersed students, we are getting ready to plan our next one. So if you are keen to join us on our next adventure, then make sure you are on our newsletter. You can join by clicking here. You can also click here to subscribe and be notified of when we are next live. And lastly, if you want more classes from us every week, then come over to Patreon to join our loyal members. P.S. Give us a cheeky thumbs up. Go on, you know you want to.